present them to somebody that's relevant. And it goes beyond that. How do we get their attention in the classroom? Taking that same person that's relevant and co-teaching it. So these kids can have an understanding, and the teacher have an understanding what's appropriate for the kids as far as the curriculum. Anything else on this? And then also utilizing and taking advantage of these opportunities here in San Francisco, as far as like the biotech companies and the Facebook, the Twitters and stuff, doing partnerships with those folks, going to educate our kids.
We're talking about the same thing.
Who else got excited about something in their conversation and would like to share?
Nobody else is excited.
I think you got one in the corner.
All right, so we were talking about mental health issues, behavior, trauma, and what we kept coming back to is the importance of support from every venue, support at the school, community support, ways to keep students in school and in class, and actually in some cases out of special education, because if they have the supports they need, if there's an IEP and it's not followed, what's the point? And making sure that families are part of the school, that there's a reason for families to come to school as well, if that's the case.
Anything else? I know I left out something.
So that's about sort of, I'm just curious, it's about, sounds like it's a lot about connecting in school and out of school, or is that a fair statement? Can anyone speak to that?
Yeah, we talked about it.
You said.
It's on there, it's over there.
Blocks away. I also deal with adults. I'm a fundraiser for Mo Magic, and I also, by the way, I'm the incoming president for the Kiwanis Club of Berkeley. We sponsor two Geek Club high schools, and we provide scholarships this last year for $66,000 to Berkeley High, Sugar High, and that's a needs base. So there's no Kiwanis clubs in San Francisco, so that's why I go to needs base. But so I do a lot of fundraising for the program.
Hi everybody, my name is Lauren. I work at United Way. And we've given money to Mo Magic. And I've worked with young people here in San Francisco for 20 years. If anybody's familiar with Peer Resources, I used to run Peer Resources in all the middle schools and high schools here in San Francisco.
Well, I'm Veronica. I am an adult. Just graduated
The larger group has broken into smaller groups, and they're now doing the introductions of who and why they're sitting at these tables.
I'm Danielle. I'm one of the teachers / mentors at Washington. I'm actually the program. The program director, right? I'm sorry. It's been a long day. I'm from San Francisco, born and raised. I came up, my parents took care at home. They made sure our education was taken care of. As soon as I went to college, I figured life out for myself and came to the community, and it just seemed like a great need with young women and, of course, young men
artists here, we had PE teachers here, who all talked about the benefits of PEEP so far, but how much more we need to really touch every student. But I wanted to raise an issue about world languages, and right now we have sports, languages, arts, and music. I really want to add languages as part of the funding included in PEEP.
Could she say what PEEP is?
The Public Education Enrichment Fund.
Thank you.
It's a mouthful.
X amount of different measures versus for your career. You know, it's easy enough to pay your bills in a $900 studio apartment in the temple. You know what I mean? Because I think really what it comes down to is, like I've heard like 5 times today, is people talking about being able to stay in San Francisco. And nowadays, that's something that I think is not really an option for the majority of kids, the majority of families. San Francisco is ridiculous when you look at it compared to, you know, you go to Boise, Idaho, you can own a mansion for $200,000 and you can't even, you know, sleep up next to, you know, the druggies and the, you know, crazy people down on 6th Street for less than $1,000 a month. So a career path to me, you know, is something that ideally a person, you know, the person can be doing what they want to do. But it's not a job, it's a career, it's somewhere shift around new options, benefits ideally, actually afford to live in the city where you work. And I think that's becoming more and more rare, and to have access to it.
So Jordan, how do we make this happen then? How do we make this happen for you?
Money was always entrepreneurship and doing different things, so I will always be an advocate for that. But I also know stability is very important, you know, too. And but also just the world and the technology. The youngsters, I'm dealing with them every day, and it's like if something ain't popping enough for them to keep them engaged longer than a week, 2 weeks, a paycheck, then it's like, man, I'm cool. I'm gonna go. I guess they rather just be stimulated than focus on, you know, coming from like my parents and, you know, and I'm sure everyone else's parents and yourself and all that, like working, you know, taking care of their family, that was a priority. Nowadays, that ain't, man, you see our priorities is messed up. If you go on social networks and look, Jordan tennis shoes is way more important than I mean, and you know, and even on the negative side, even from the hustler background and stuff that me and Rico come from, like even back then in the 90s, people would hustle, would do illegal things to really, you know what I mean, elevate their situation. Not just nowadays, drugs ain't even a problem in San Francisco youth no more. Like they're not selling drugs anymore. They robbing. They go break in the car so they can go, you know, go steal an iPhone so they can go buy some Jordan. You know what I'm saying? So it's like the whole mind is just like they trapped in a little box now. So even the illegal activities that they're doing isn't even progressive. You know what I mean? Yeah, no, exactly. The solution to me though.
One thing that we need at school to answer emotional, behavioral, children in crisis and those types of needs is that we need funding for more in-classroom help, whether it's paraprofessionals, that these children are maybe getting taken out of their general education for the wrong reason. And so a solution to these issues was to keep that child in the classroom with more support for the teacher.
Great.
One of the things that came out was more support for the housing, meaning adding case management within the housing projects or developments, affordable housing, as well as going affordable housing and some of the resources that we need. And let me see. Oh, and then a one-stop shop for renters, so where they can go and get all the necessary resources that they need.
Very important to kind of report something that's not necessarily genuinely there yet. And I think that, you know, one of the things, because I've been working with youth since I've been in youth, and I always say that, and I think that, thank you, very important as I'm approaching 30. But, you know, I think that, like, one of the things that I'm always trying to do is, I'm like not going to force a relationship. So even like, you know, when I first came here and started working for Mexico, I had a substance things, very outspoken, very opinionated young women, and it's like, okay, they're awesome. Do they like me today on my first day? Probably not. But I'm not going to force a relationship, you know. Do I see potential in them that I want to nurture? Absolutely. But I'm not going to force it because I want it to be natural, because when it's natural and it's genuine, and you build that trust and you build that relationship, then everything clicks and you build their trust. You're able to hold them accountable without them feeling like you're judging them. You're able to have that relationships where I can call them and say, what's going on? Oh, you're slipping, you're tripping, I'm on your line. Wait, what happened? You need to come see me. No, you don't need to do this. And they listen because it's like, okay, this is my, you know, she has my best interest at heart. But sometimes it's like you're pushed into a relationship like, hey, this is going to be your mentor. Everybody's not going to match up with every person. And so it's important to be able to identify a person in your life and have those people in your life outside of your family. And sometimes they can be your family, depending on how